Initially, we plan to have this program or this sharing session by Prof. Abdul Karim Alias via physical. Okay, we plan to have it physical, but through the feedback forms that we gathered from all academics, we only get not so ni lah, not so suitable lah to be conducted physical. So insyaAllah di lain siaran kita akan berkongsi secara fizikal lah, terutamanya untuk yang akan datang ni ia lebih kepada workshop which will be more suitable in physical. So today we are going to have webinar from Prof titled What I Have Learned in 28 Years in Academia. So basically this 2-hour webinar is crafted by Prof to offer young and aspiring academic less than 10 years in service a unique opportunity to gain insight, wisdom and practical guidance from the experience of an academician with 28 years in the field, which is our own Prof Karim. The primary goal is to inspire, educate and empower the upcoming generation of academics by sharing an array of invaluable lessons, challenges faced and effective best practices that have been gathered and refined over nearly 3 decades. Okay, participants will get a rare glimpse into the journey of academic excellence, learning from experience that transcend textbook and lectures, aiming to mold them into well-rounded, innovative and impactful scholars. Okay, so our webinar today, beside from our internal Microsoft Teams, it is also being broadcast in CAFEL Facebook Live, and later also will be available in CAFEL YouTube channel. So without further ado, I welcome Prof. Abdul Karim for his sharing this morning. Over to you, Prof.
Terima kasih, Puan Lani. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, selamat sejahtera kepada semua sahabat-sahabat akademik Unit 10 dan juga mungkin bagi mereka yang mendengar di luar sana melalui Facebook Live dalam Facebook CAFEL ya. Ya, saya ingin mengambil peluang ini juga untuk mengucapkan selamat tahun baru kepada semua para sahabat, para akademik di Unit 10 dan juga di seluruh Malaysia. Jadi pada pagi ini, webinar yang pertama di bawah anjuran CAFEL. So this is a kick-off seminar to start the ball rolling, so to speak, for 2024. So I thought maybe we'd want to make it very heavy. I understand that lecturers are extremely busy at this time of the semester. These are last 2 or 3 weeks towards the end of the semester, so everybody is busy with getting things done, the lectures, test, examination and so on. So I understand that there are many cannot make it. So we have a recording, as well as I'll be sharing all the PowerPoint slides that I'm going to share, almost hundreds PowerPoint slides that hopefully I can kind of touch and go during these 2 hours. So I have chosen this topic to kind of kick off the webinar this year. Something that I think quite light. It's not very heavy, but I'm hoping the mission or the objective of this presentation this morning, or sharing this morning, is to share some of what I've experienced during my 28 years service in at USM as an academic staff. Because I've been sharing some of so-called tips, ideas with the younger academics here at Unit 10 and everywhere. And many times they ask me to have a proper sharing so that I can share more. So this is basically what I'm going to do this morning. So let me share the PowerPoint slide. and I'll be sharing the link for everyone who are interested to download. Okay, let me confirm. Puan Rani, boleh nampak slide?
Boleh, Prof.
Boleh, alright. So, kick off webinar 2024, what I've learned in 28 years in academia. So, to start with, basically what I'm going to share during this session this morning, I'd like to share what are the challenges being in the academia. And of course, challenges abound. It's not a life if there are no challenges, if there are no problems, if there are no issues. So the same thing in academia, there's bound to be challenges that we have to face, and we have to learn how to deal with the challenges. It's normal. But there are also a lot of prospects and opportunities. So I would rather amplify or talk more or dwell more on the prospect and opportunities. Of course, some of the challenges that probably typical or common to everyone, not only to myself, but to everyone. So let's see what are some of the challenges and how best to deal with the challenges. And basically, the whole session this morning, I have come up with 20 so-called lessons and advices. I don't know whether I can cover everything, but some probably I will dwell more, some probably just kind of run through or kind of touch and go very fast. And I hope I will have some time, like 15, 20 minutes at the end for a dialogue, questions, or just a change of views, bouncing ideas, and so on. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm here at Unit 10 now after my retirement last year in October last year. In 2022. And then thank you to Unit 10 for giving me this opportunity to join and serve Unit 10, to help Unit 10 after 28 years in USM as an academic. So I joined in 1994. You can see the hall, the big hall behind me is Dewan Tuan Kusai Putra, and this was the same hall where I graduated my first degree in USM, Bachelor in Applied Science in Food Technology. That was in 1986. 1986 when I graduated, the same hall behind me. Then I came back, joined as a staff. Then this same hall, I was there to attend the convocation, but not as a student, later on as an academic staff, as a Senate members, as board members as well. So there's a lot of history in this big hall that every time when I look at it, it reminds me a lot my life in USM. It's 28 years served as an academic, but my history with USM is much longer than that. I did my matriculation and my first degree, so add to it 6 years. So that probably 28 plus 6 become 34 years. And if I count my time as doing masters and PhD under the USM fellowship, add another 6 years, so almost 40 years. So I can say that more than half of my life basically spent in USM. So the association is so strong that I feel that the USM DNA is in my blood, is in myself. And I always say to a lot of people that USM dulu, kini, dan selamanya, at least in my heart. Of course, now I'm at Unit 10, I'll give my very best and beyond my best for Unit 10. But I am basically USM. So when I left USM, I left with fond memories. I bring with me only fond memories. So when I say this, some people will probably ask, well, don't you have any, unpleasant memories? Something that bitter or unpleasant? Well, I would be lying if I say there's no, kind of unpleasant thing and so on. But I would say that it's almost negligible or very few. And I don't want even to try to remember about it or even amplify those negative moments that to me doesn't really make any much impact on me. In fact, I learned from those moments to be better and to try to avoid things to happen again. So overall, I would say 99.9%, my 28 years as an academic staff in the USM has all been fond memories. And this, I hope, what everyone here in academia who are listening here and everywhere in Malaysia now, I hope you can write your own story. If you are new to the institution, if you just joined, I think that's very good. You start with a blank page, a blank canvas, so to speak, and write your own story. Only you can write your own story. Only you can determine the plot, the twist of the plot, and the outcome of the story. You have all the freedom to craft, to write your own story. I have written my story in USM for 28 years, and I wrote it in such a way that I want to have a happy ending. Don't you want, everyone here, don't you want a happy ending to your career that spanned probably about 30 years or 30 plus years or 20 plus years at the institution? Don't you want to leave the institution with fond memories? Don't you want to tell people that, your institution is great, your institution is where it has shaped you to be what you are today? So this is what I hope to achieve in my sharing today. The love and the association that we can make to our place, to the place where we earn our living and we serve the vision and the mission of the university, basically to educate the students who come to the university and graduate to become the so-called productive, useful nation builders. So that's the introduction or the Mukaddimah for my sharing this morning. And I consider myself lucky because in the last 10 years of my service in USM, I was the director of the center called Center for Development of Academic Excellence, which is equivalent to CAFEL here at Unit 10. And I was basically the first director of the center. It was established in 2012, and I was a director until I retired for almost 10 years there. And one of the tasks given to the center and to me as a director is to devise a program, 2 weeks intensive program for for the new lecturers that has just joined USM. So this program is, we call it PNP, pengajaran dan pembelajaran, 2 weeks intensive, focus on giving the exposure to the young lecturers, to the new lecturers, about the world of academia, and basically to give them kind of a good start, a head start to become a good teacher, a good educator. So this the picture that I'm showing on the screen now was the last batch that I handled as a director before I retire. So if some of you here in this picture are listening, well, please say something. Yeah, say hello or whatever, that I know that you are listening. All right. So what I'm trying to say here, I want to start off with the first lesson this morning. We rise by lifting others. These are the words of Robert F. Kennedy. So my 28 years in USM, and when I left USM with fond memories, is very much because of the ecosystem that allow me to grow. And basically, I have good people around me that lift me up right from the beginning of my journey in USM. So at some point, at one point when I basically established myself as a lecturer, as a teacher, as a researcher, let's say around 10 years and above, I feel that I have the responsibility now to help others, to grow others, to help others to grow, to help others to have a head start in their career. Because a lot of people around me that have helped me to be, to help me to be on the right track on my journey. So my turn now, after some time, to lift other people as well. And this is the spirit that I think every one of us must have in ourselves. When we come to a point where we consider ourselves now comfortable and quite successful, we are doing well, we should play our role now to help others, to grow others. Because we rise by lifting others. When we lift others, we also lift ourselves up together. So that's the first lesson that I want to share with you. I consider myself lucky because I was in the right circle of people. I get the right advice right from the beginning. So I was on the right footing from the first day of my career in USM. Okay, so I'd like to share this proverb, African proverb. It is actually in relation to lifting others. Because if you feel that you want to do everything on your own, that you can, survive on your own, you can work independently, you don't need others to help. You look at others as a threat. You look at others, like people who want to ride on you, things like that. If you have that kind of mindset right from the beginning, I think probably I would say it's an unhealthy kind of mindset, and it won't take you very far. But even if you have that kind of mindset and you go far, you just go alone, So if you want to go fast, yes, you can go alone. But I would rather go together, although that means I would go slower, but I go at I set my own pace together with others, with the team, and I kind of keeping my stamina so that I don't get burnt out very fast. Then I can go far. Yeah. So this is one of the proverbs, African proverbs that I always quote and I really take to my heart. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But sometimes some people say that, yeah, I want to go together. I want to work together with people. But sometimes I feel that they are taking advantage of me. They are taking a free ride. They want to ride on me. They want to kind of, sometimes they hold me back. That's the thing. Sometimes we feel that by working together with others, rather than you work productively and synergistically, you feel that other people try to hold you back, to hold you from progressing and keeping moving forward. So the best way to illustrate, by the way, a lot of my slides, the image that I use in my presentation today has been generated with AI, including this one. So this is the beauty and the power of AI that I really like, because if I want to find a picture from stock photo or from any websites, it's very difficult to find this kind of photo to illustrate my point here, that I'm trying to fly now, fly high, but someone is dragging me. Someone is, my hand is tied or my leg is tied, just like the eagle here. So I know I can fly. I have a strong wing to fly, but the ecosystem doesn't allow me to grow or doesn't allow me to do that, or people around me not allowing me to do that. Sometimes you have that kind of feeling. It can be real, but I think we can find ways to deal with that, because we have a choice. We have options. If we find if we find that again, time and again, that certain people trying to hold you back, and it's not just being suspicious, but there are evidence that some people are trying to hold you back. But you have option to just ignore or just say goodbye. Of course, we tried our best to work together. We try to talk. We try to discuss. We try to persuade. But if that fails, then we have a choice to abandon them. And I've done that once, at least in my during my 28 years. But do it in a very good kind of way, so that we can maintain our friendship forever. So now, I get these questions quite often, how did you survive the 28-year journey? Especially from those who feel they are under a lot of stress and they are thinking to leave the institution, they are thinking to change the job and so on. So they said, how did you survive the 28-year in the academia? And you say that you left the institution with fond memories. I find it hard to believe. So I said, well, I not only survive, I would say, we want everyone not only survive, because surviving is not enough. To survive is not enough. Our aim should be to flourish. You want to flourish. You don't want just to survive. Because living day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, surviving will put a lot of stress on your system, on yourself. There are now a lot of cases where, lately, especially, people are dying everywhere. So we have to be very careful, because stress can really kill. Stress can kill. So if we live our life, let's say you spend X number of years at the institution, at your workplace, and coming to work every day and having to face the stress and just surviving. Sometimes I hear people say that, oh, I'm here now, I'm here now. I'm barely surviving. I'm always drowning. So, yeah, but I guess we have to find ways. We have to find our own workflow, our own kind of way of dealing with things and so on, so that we don't just survive on daily basis. We want to flourish. We want to bloom and flourish, just like a flower. So that's basically lesson number 2, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleague. Now, another important lesson, and this is lesson number 3. Marathon versus sprinting. Some people, they already have a very clear plan and strategy and kind of direction. That's good. But some people, I find that they want to achieve in terms of the career path and the career ladder, they want to climb the career ladder very, very fast within, let's say, 10 years. I'm aiming to get a professor within 10 years. On one hand, it's good being ambitious, but on the other hand, it can put a lot of stress on your system, on yourself, it can be heavy on your heart as well because stress. So I would say that the journey in the academia is a long game, it's a long haul. So be prepared. Let's say, if you want to go on the flight, let's say be prepared from here to KL, 12 hours, for example. So be prepared to have that kind of preparing for that 12 hours. So I would say that it's a marathon rather than sprinting. Because really another lesson that I have later on is about always check your pace and your speed, checking your speedometer, so to speak. Because if you move too fast, driving over the speed limit, I posted in the Facebook recently, if you drive over the speed limit, 200 kilometers per hour, you'll be focusing and concentrating on the road only. You don't have time to look at left and right. You don't have to enjoy the scenic view along the journey, along the highway, because you have to focus on the road because you are speeding. Of course, you will reach the destination, for example, from Penang to KL in 2 hours, maybe. Others will take 4 hours, like myself, double the time. But I will reach eventually. But during that time, I can stop a few times. I can enjoy the scenery. I can look left and right. I can have a conversation with my loved one, my partner, my spouse. We use the time to enjoy, to listen to the audiobook in the car. So I would rather take longer time so that I don't put too much stress on myself. And I follow the speed limit, follow the law, but eventually I'll reach the destination. So I would rather take my journey in the academia as a marathon, and that's what I've done. I got my associate professor after 8 years. Although my dean at that time, he said, after 5 years, he said, you are more than eligible to apply now after 5 years. But I don't feel comfortable. I feel that I need more time. So after 8 years, I applied and I got my associate professor. And 5 years after that, and of course, I worked very hard during the 5 years. And at that time, my research was going very, very well. I have a big research team. I have postdoc and so on. So I managed to get good publication. I published basically mainly in the top 5% of the Q1 journal at that time. At that time, we didn't talk about Q1 and so on, basically. So, but I guess I took my time. I took the journey and enjoyed the journey. I don't put too much stress on myself. So lesson number 3 here, my dear colleagues, is about the journey itself, about the speed, about the, how do you pace yourself appropriately. Now, I like this picture. I love this picture because this reminds me my childhood. My background, basically, I was born in Perak. My father was a fisherman. So this is the son of the fisherman, basically. So I want to ask these questions, and I want everyone who are listening here to really think about this for a moment. Every day when you wake up in the morning, do you get up every morning and always look forward to start the day and do what you love, indulge in your passion, looking forward to drive to the office to work and start off your day with a positive mindset, looking forward to be productive for the day? Do you have that kind of feeling every day? If not, then lesson number 4 here is about do what you love and love what you do. I use the word love here. So love is a strong, evoking a strong emotional feeling. There's a difference if we say that I like reading or I love reading. There's a difference. When you say you like reading, okay, maybe you just read casually, maybe when you have time and so on. But when you love reading, you do the activity as a habitual activity. And when you engage in the reading, in the reading activity, you really put yourself, you immerse yourself, you really read line by line, and not only that, you read between the lines, you try to interpret, you try to relate, you try to contextualize, you try to criticize the ideas in your head. That's what good immersive reading is about, because you love reading. And then after you have read the article or the book, then you go to Twitter to tweet the essence of what you have read and share with people around the world. Or you go to Facebook, like what I do always. I tweet, I go to the Facebook, and now I start on Instagram as well, to share at least one piece, sharing the piece of my mind, a piece of my mind through what I've read, sharing the knowledge. So the same thing when you say, when you love someone, for example, or you say, I like you, the difference from I love you. You know, when you love someone, you will go to a great length to protect the person, to protect her or him. If you just like, then you just go to that level. It's a different level, right? So the same thing when we do in our career, when we do our job, you know. So am I saying here that you must love your job? Well, love can have different connotation here when come to work, but to some extent, I think we need to kind of immerse in our job. When we are in hours in the office, we must immerse ourselves in it so that we can deliver whatever that we need to deliver through our based on the job description and beyond. So we do our best because we love it. So not doing our best also sometimes, to me, not good enough. We want to go beyond the best. Go the extra mile, not only extra 1 mile, but extra miles. Go to a great length. Because when we do something going the extra mile, we will accomplish something that, you know, beyond what our institution, what our faculty is expected of us to deliver. So here, we are not talking only about fulfilling the KPI. To me, we can go even beyond that. But in order to realize that, you must be doing things in a way that you don't get so stressful, because you have developed the workflow, you are really into it, you have developed the team, you have developed your research team, you have established your lab, for example. Everything is already, the ecosystem is already there to allow you to flourish. So now you can indulge in your passion doing research, in your passion doing teaching, and so on. So that's lesson number 4. Because Simon Sinek, in his book, one of New York bestseller, Start With Why. Many people have read this book, and I quote from his book: working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. But working hard for something we love, notice that, we love, not just we like, is called passion. Passion. So I strongly believe in this. This is one of the, I would say, the lessons that I've learned over the years. And I have seen the outcome of that, not only myself, but others. When we do something driven by passion, rather than being forced to do it because someone or the institution imposed on it. So when we do something driven on passion, the outcome, the results, the output is always excellent. So in other words, we have to develop that passion, find what exactly our passion is, and then develop that passion, and then indulge in it so that we can become better and better. So now I'd like to ask another questions that I hope you can really take a moment to really think about it. Do you consider yourself as a true educator? Because now I'm speaking to basically more or less who are listening here are educators, regardless whether you are from public or private universities, but we are all educators. But do you really consider yourself as a true educator? If that is the case, or how do you, what's the kind of the litmus test for this? Okay, so one way of really asking ourselves whether we are a true educator or not is try to articulate our philosophy as an educator. When we talk about philosophy, we have a life philosophy, we have our kind of philosophy related to our job, teaching philosophy, our philosophy related to research and so on. So how can you articulate your philosophy as far as being in education, in academia is concerned? So I'll give you an example. Yeah. So lesson number 5 here is about having a clear philosophy, a clear sense of purpose, why you are here. Is it by choice, or is it by accident, or is it by default, whatever. But now you are here. So regardless whether by choice or by whatever, so you must have a clear philosophy, a clear sense of purpose. And what are your guiding principles that kind of guide you towards the direction to put you on the right track in this academia, the world of academia? So something for us to think about when we talk about philosophy. If you have Twitter, you can use this hashtag, live, love, teach. So there's Robert Frost here. He said, I'm not a teacher. I'm beyond that. I'm an awakener. So he sees in himself not just teaching the content to the student, but more than that. I am an awakener, to awaken people, to the potential of him or herself, and to help and to guide and to facilitate the person to unleash their potential, to unleash their full potential. So if I just a teacher, mungkin I just go there, spend 1 hour, then finish, go back, and I forget about the student. That's as far as teaching goes. But if you take your role more than that, you take your role as an educator, where you are also playing a role as an awakener here. And another one here, I touch the future. I teach. So another way of saying this, I touch the heart. Teaching is the work of heart. Teaching is hard work and hard work. Things like that. That can be your philosophy. Teaching, we acknowledge that teaching is hard. But if you want to be an excellent teacher, you must teach from the heart. So work hard and work from the heart. Then we touch the heart of the people, of the students. So in this case, Krista says here, I touch the future. I teach. So this is a philosophy, because remember, when we are guided by our philosophy, clear sense of purpose, we will become an educator that our students really look up to. So I take this from Confucius here, the quotes, walking among 3 people, I find my teacher among them. Imagine this as a student our students saying this, I choose that which is good in them and follow it. So become a role model. And that which is bad and change it. Change it, yeah? Okay, so this is a very powerful quote here to remind us, or for us to reflect that we as an educator can become a role model that our students look up to and try to learn from. So it's very important that we keep that in mind and be mindful all the time so that we really lead the way and show the model, show the attributes, and the values that we want our students. We want them to, to have that kind of, we want to nurture them to have that, instill them with the values and so on. Now, let's look at another situation here. I think it's a very common and very, I guess, resonate very well. Is it resonate well with all of you here who are listening? I've got too much work on my plate. Come on, don't give me another one. Does that sound familiar? I've got too much on my plate. I'm very stressed already. So when I ask the AI to generate the image, this is what the image it gives me. Very funny, but at the same time, it's real, right? So how do we deal with this? So lesson number 6 here. And this is actually the same slide that I share in the program with the new lecturers. And I love this. I like this. Yeah. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Well, when I throw this question to the group, they said, which one would you rather be, sailing on a smooth sea or sailing on a rough sea? Some say that they want to why they want to take the trouble to to sail on the rough sea, right? If I have the option to sail in the smooth sea. But if you sail in the smooth sea, you won't be facing those unique challenges when your boat is in the high sea, in the turbulent rough sea. So you won't be able to learn those skills because you don't need that skill in the calm sea. So I think this is a very nice kind of metaphor or analogy that we can use in the world of academia, in our career, because if you try to avoid, if you try to make things easy for you, you choose the easy option. I know when especially for new lecturers, when you come back, inevitably most of the time you'll be given courses that other people don't want to teach, right? It happens all the time. So I always tell the young lecturers, the young academics, don't complain. Don't complain. Just take it. Just take it, in your stride. And take that as a challenge. Because why? You will find that if you keep taking new courses to teach, and sometimes you only get one semester the opportunity to teach that course in one semester. It happened to me. Yeah. Then you have to move on to a new course when new people come back and so on. So of course, when you want to prepare to teach a new course, especially something that you, as a student, you probably happen to teach a course that as a student, you don't like that course. You don't even do well in the course. You didn't do well in the course, but now you have to teach the course, right? I think happened to many people. But then, if you take that opportunity to now teach that course, because you have to learn now, because to teach is to learn twice, meaning that you have to be really expert on that course now before you are able to teach. So there'll be a lot of challenges. You will be in, you have to use a lot of time and so on to study. And so it will be rough on you. It will be difficult on you with all other things that you need to do. But then you will realize, soon you will realize that you will get a new knowledge, a deeper knowledge into that particular subject. And like me, after 28 years, I have taught like 60, 70% of the courses in the curriculum. So now I have a broad-based knowledge of the whole curriculum of food technology. But in the last 10 years, I taught mainly 3 courses. And in the last 2-3 years, down to one course, because my colleagues say that, since you're holding position, let go some of these courses so that you are not too heavy. So, but again, I specialize on 2-3 courses after in the last 10 years. But before that, I've taught other courses in the curriculum. So I have a broad and narrow specialized. So a T-shaped kind of model. So if you want to learn and to get a good skill and really be a holistic, all-round kind of wholesome academic, take the challenge, not only in terms of teaching courses and so on, but in terms of research as well. Don't be afraid to take up the challenges, because it will just make you better and stronger and more complete. So that's lesson number 6. A smooth sea never met a skilled sailor. Throw yourself there in the, facing the challenges, sail in the turbulent, in the rough sea, so that you can learn all the skill needed to survive as a sailor. So you become a complete sailor. Now, when we talk about life as an academic, yeah, this is what we expect to do. We have to do so many things in our career, right? In our job, a day in the life of academic. And in this picture, also, I didn't manage to capture everything, but just the important one: publish, research, teaching, supervision, lecture, conference, writing grant, submitting grant, doing micro-credential now, MOOC, reading thesis as examiner, external commitment, industry consultation, become, a review paper, review program, daily routine as mother, wife, husband, son, daughter, grandpa, grandma. We play many roles, right? We are the father, we are the husband, the wife, we are the in-laws, we are the son of or the daughter of our parent, and so on. So where is the me time then? Okay, so this is the reality of being an academic. And the AI illustrate this as, a person with many hands. Can you imagine that? It's a young lecturer here, just joined the university, and they suddenly find themselves having to grow more hands, having to juggle many balls, and try to be careful not to drop any, because everything is very fragile, so to speak. Can you imagine that? And it's real. I'm not denying this. This is what we are facing as an academic. But we have got to deal with it. We have got to deal with it. But then remember, recent research have shown that they said multitasking isn't working. So if you try to multitask, it's like there's a Malay proverbs, peribahasa, yang dikejar tak dapat, yang dikendong keciciran. Then you become like touch and go. Touch, go, touch, go. You don't really touch and hold and get a strong grip on anything. But sometimes you end up become like jack of all trade, master of none. But what we should aim, if you really want to flourish rather than just survive, is jack of all trade, master of something. Master of one at least, or master of 2 or 3, but master of something. Is that ideal situation, or ideal something ideal that we can achieve? I would say yes, it can be. It depends on how we do it by design. It doesn't happen by chance. A lot of things by design. But of course, during my 28 years, some certain things happen by chance, which actually work to my advantage. But most of the time, most of it actually we have to do it by design. So when we are given, when we have to do a lot of things in our job. Sometimes if we don't manage well, we don't manage the time well, we don't manage the task well, we don't use, the right strategies, we can end up with this, right? We can end up with this stress, depression, and we have heard there are many sad cases where people, end up with a very bad situation because they cannot manage the stress, they cannot handle the depression, and it's real, especially during the pandemic, right? So now we are talking more and more conversation, more and more people talking about the mental well-being now. Previously, maybe we talk about it, but we don't really put a lot of attention to it. But I hope everyone who is listening here, if we still have a long way to go in the world of academia, with more demand now on everything, a lot of things on our shoulder, things on our plate spill over, it's really important for you now to develop your ideal workflow, pace your speed, pace yourself. You need that stamina. If you sprint very fast for, let's say, long kind of race, 800 meter, if you run 800 meter like you run 100 meter pace, you will end up with not getting there because you run out of stamina. So that's why I keep reiterating the point about pacing yourself so that you don't get burnt out. So that's lesson number 7. I have 22 lessons here, so I need to pace myself also now so that I can get to the end. So I like to share this book. I've shared this in some of my presentation, but this book, Unraveling Faculty Burnout, Pathways to Reckoning and Renewal. I would highly recommend you, especially the young lecturers, young academics, get this book. There's a lot of tips in this book from someone who have suffered depression in one of the Ivy League university in the US. She suffered bad depression, came out of it, learned a lot of lesson, and wrote a book. I think that's one of the good things about this academic in the Western countries. When they learn something, they write and share. Okay, so I hope you can get your hand on this book and read a lot of tips there. They're very, very useful. You can read the review on Google also. There are a lot of positive reviews. Now, I again reiterate this point. Pace yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Always check your speedometer. Always check. You don't go over speed. You over the speed limit. You don't drive very slowly because that can race can pose danger to other drivers as well. But drive on speed. If the speed say 100 km per hour, once you reach that speed, put your cruise button, press your cruise button, and you just cruise. Enjoy the journey. Okay. Don't bother about all these expensive cars, but sometimes not necessarily expensive cars, even the small car as well, overtake you one by one, zoom, zoom, zoom. So it's okay, bye-bye, but I just pace myself. I know, inshallah, I will reach there by whatever time. Okay, wow. All right, so this from Ernest Hemingway again. I start to like to use this quote. Previously, Prof. Rafiq, former USM, VC USM used this. So I start to use this. Don't mistake motion for action. Sometimes we feel that every day when we come to the office, we get too busy. Busy. But at the end of the day, if we count our productivity, we don't know what have we really done in the office today. At the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, when we are ready to make a new resolution, then we try to see what we have done or what we have achieved, what we have not achieved, we realize that nothing much get done. But we feel that we are forever busy. So this is what happened. Just like running on one spot or running like on the treadmill, you can set the speed faster and faster, but you end up to nowhere. You are just running on one point. So don't mistake motion for action. Motion must be translated into action and into outcome, basically the productivity. So ladies and gentlemen, lesson number 8 here. Probably have to pace myself now faster. This is more like a advice. We have to work hard because we have to deliver the mission, the vision and the mission of the institution where we work, where we get our salary. So we take home our salary, but in return, we must deliver what is expected of us, the KPI, whatever, although people hate the word KPI. Work hard, but don't forget to have good life. So this is where we talk about work-life balance. I really love how AI translate that into this work-life balance. On one side here, we spend 8 hours in the office. On the other side, we spend the rest of the hours at home. Yeah. So the work in the office will bring the bread on the table, the food on the table. But our life is defined not only by our work, but with our life at home, with our family. So how do we strike the balance? So when we talk about balance here, it doesn't mean that you have to be 50-50. So work-life balance to me is more like work-life integration, seamless work-life integration. Meaning that, it's all about prioritizing first thing first, what really matters, what truly matters, what need to be done first, what need to be delegated, what need to be just forget about it, who we want to say yes to, who we want to say no, things like that. So it's all about prioritizing, putting things into the proper order to get it accomplished, to get it done. And we can do this, we can try to do this seamlessly. So easier said than done, but don't stop that easier said than done, stopping you from trying to achieve that kind of seamless work-life integration. I think the key here is about developing a good flow, a good workflow, a good gerak kerja, workflow. I call it workflow. And different person will have a different workflow. No two person will have the same workflow because no two person will have the same life. Right? So to me, the key here is developing a proper workflow that suit you best. I think when I look at what I've done so far in the 28 years, basically developing my own workflow that sometimes I need to adjust to a workflow, fine-tuning the workflow until at one point I think, okay, I've got my workflow already and it works all the time. And this is one of the most important points that I want to say here. In order for you not just survive or surviving, but you want to flourish, you really need a sound, solid support system. So as you can see, AI here has drawn this nice diagram here. The lady here, working lady here, smiling, positive vibes, walking to the office or back from the office. But why? Why she can smile, dress smartly, nicely. When you look at the picture, the person here, the lady here, it oozes the positive vibes. Because you look at the back here, these are the ecosystem. These are the support system. Is the AI here, imagine this as a cogwheel, that has to work together synchronously and harmoniously so that the system work perfectly. This is the metaphor. And take this to our heart, that ask ourselves whether do we have this kind of sound support system. If not, then that is where the issues and the problems will start to arise. So again, when we talk about burnout and so on, so lesson number 9 here, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, I want to drive home this message. Please take care of yourself and your family. Because why? This is the first thing we have to remember. Having someone to go is home. Having someone to love is family. And having both is a blessing. When you have a good family support, good support system, then you will free your mind. When you come to office, you can focus. But if your mind is kind of full of problems and issues related to your family, then of course when you come to office, you're driving to the office, your mind is always thinking about things that still unsettled. So how do we want to focus 100% to our work and deliver the best productivity of the day? Cannot. So that's why having a best ecosystem is family support. So this is how I translate that family support in this picture quite nicely. Family support around you.
So I am an outlier in the sense that I do not have children. I do not have my own children, but I have 31,000 children in University Science Malaysia.
Puan Lani, are you still there?
Yes, Prof.
Boleh dengar tak video ni?
Boleh dengar.
Okay. So, oops. Alamak.
Children. I do not have my own children, but I have 31,000 children in University Science Malaysia. I believe that behind every successful woman is a very understanding and supportive husband. And that's a fact. Because if you do not have a supportive and understanding husband, he will clip your wings. And when he clips your wings, you cannot fly, ladies. Therefore, shop around before you marry the first man. You know? I mean, please, people, just because that boy gives you some flowers and he says and chocolates, he says, I love you, and you marry him, hello, think again. You know? So what I'm trying to say is that get to know who you're going to marry, because it's so very important. You may be highly educated, but when it comes to that one person, you become very vulnerable. And that one person can make or break you. So I thank God every day. I thank God every day that I have a very supportive, very understanding man. I said to my best friends, very few of us get to marry malaikat on earth, you know.
Good luck, ladies. Not many of them out there. Just want to say that.
Many people, I think, have watched this video. So I hope I'm one of the malaikat to my wife, to my spouse. Well, that video was Dato' Asma Ismail, Professor Dato' Asma Ismail, former Vice Chancellor of USM, and she has retired for many years, but still very, very active. I'm still doing some work with her. Dato' Asma is someone that I really look up to as a role model. Not only she's a successful academic, she's also a lifelong learner. And another one like Datin Paduka Aini Idris, former Vice Chancellor of UPM. I don't know whether Dato' Paduka is listening, because she always join if she's free. I know she will join the session. Prof Aini, are you there? Are you here? Maybe no. All right. So it's okay. But she will probably watch the recording. She's very successful academic in my eyes, and I really look up to her as well. And she's also a true lifelong learner. I think she must be 70 plus now. She has retired for a long time, still very active in various groups and so on. And she loves to learn. She is a really true lifelong learner. So even my webinar like this, she will join if she has time. So that's okay, that's the side. I want to continue in terms of support system. So we have a good, strong, sound family support. On the other hand now, when we come to work, we want to have a good, sound workplace support. Remember about lifting others? We want to have a workplace where people around us always want to help us, give their hand, they want to lift us. And the same thing we do for others as well, right? So can you imagine if you spend 30 years, 25 years, 28 years in the workplace, having this kind of colleagues around you, friends around you, you know, the kind of vibes and energy that they provide would be tremendous. And that would drive you, that will give you the energy, so-called, to get the engine, just now, remember the ecosystem, the support system to work. And we can deliver to the maximum, beyond excellence, beyond the KPI put to us. So again, lesson number 10 here, halfway, but I have only about half an hour. And this is also very important to me. I stress many times to many people. And in this case, I'm quite lucky because when they came back, I've got people around me who are positive people, like-minded people, and give me so-called a head start, give me the right advice, so that I can start off on the right footing and move rather fast in my journey. So as much as possible, surround yourself with like-minded and positive people. But of course, you will find that some people should not be in your circle because they are probably destructive or probably not really helping you to grow. In fact, maybe they purposely and deliberately try to stunt your growth. Yeah, reality is that it's like that. So you know what to do. Lesson number 11 here, because we have so many things to juggle, we have so many things on our plate that sometimes it spill over. So we have to be very strategic. Remember this keyword, strategic, in how we do things. How do we develop our workflow? So first thing first, many people have read a book by Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Successful People, something like that. Oh, this classic book already. But from time to time, revisit the book. First thing first. So basically is because it's about time management. Because time flies. Time flies. At the blink of an eye, suddenly we realize that it's already one full year. Then we go on. So time flies. We go by the flow. We cannot turn back the clock. There's a song by Sabado, George Michael, Time Can Never Mend. Careless whisper. Okay, so time flies. So there's a book by John Maxwell, one of my favorite authors. I always mention this. Today matters. Today matters. Making today your masterpiece is the key to success. 8 hours in the office, optimize it. Count every moment. Don't waste it. Don't go and have a drink for half an hour. In USM, 28 years in USM, people who are listening from USM here, you can tell me how many times you see me in the canteen or lepaking, No, I don't socialize a lot, yes, but I still have friends. But I know that I have limited time, so I want to make the time really productive. So making today your masterpiece is the key to success. So it's all about managing your little time that you have, limited time that you have. So this basically, I don't want to say too much about it. Many people know about this. It's all the time management things. Do so the important and urgent, do it now. Not urgent, maybe schedule it. Important but not urgent, schedule it. Not important but urgent, maybe you can delegate it. Not important and not urgent, forget about it. Okay, so this lupa, I forgot to put the source here, but if you Google the 4 quadrants of time management, you'll find the website. I forgot to put the reference here, but basically there's more detail on the 4 quadrant of time management. Lesson number 12 is about opportunity. This is also the same thing that I always convey this message to the young lecturers at USM in the program. Opportunity, because you cannot run away from talking about opportunity. And Napoleon Bonaparte says, talent is nothing without opportunity. You can have a great talent in singing, painting, drawing, arts, what not. But if you are not discovered, your talent is not discovered. So talent is nothing without opportunity. You are not given the opportunity, or you don't create that opportunity for the world to see your talent, then it amounts to nothing. So opportunity, basically, if you work passively, then you will just wait for the opportunity to come. Or if you are lucky, the opportunity will come presented to you and you grab it. Or if you are proactive, you go and seek out for the opportunity. You proactively seek for the opportunity. So I'm showing this one not to boosting the Anugerah Academic Negara that I received in 2008, because this is related to the opportunity. Dato Asma just now was at that time the chairman of this Anugerah Academic Negara, and she was the Timbalan Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research at that time in USM. And if not for her, of course, dengan didorong niat oleh Allah, I probably wouldn't have received this award, because initially I don't have intention to submit, because to me at that time it was too much work to do to prepare the portfolio and so on. So I said, oh, never mind, forget about it. I'm not going for award or whatnot. I'm just doing, the best in my teaching. But then, because I received the teaching award at the university level in 2002, the first award in 2002, Anugerah Sanggar Sanjung. They call it Anugerah Pendidik Sanjungan, APS. I was the first recipient among a few more. So Dato Asma at that time sent an instruction, a memo, a letter to everyone who has received that award at the university level to apply. So basically, we were instructed to apply. And at that time, I was not happy, because apa ni paksa-paksa kan. But then it was a tipping point for me in my career. Really changed the trajectory of my career after I received this award. So thanks to Dato Asma, if you are listening now. What I want to say here, the opportunity presented to me, the first case just now, and I initially didn't want, but then later on I took the opportunity, and I got the award. It changed my life, changed my career path, my career trajectory. So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, if a window of opportunity appears, don't pull down the shade too fast. Okay, like what I did. Okay, Tom Peters said this. Lesson number 13 is about collaboration and networking. This is common sense, this common point that people talk about, right? Collaboration and networking. But not really, not everyone will try to go all out, to go really put a lot of effort in this consciously and by design. So if you are still, in the 5 to 10 years in your academia, put a lot of your focus and effort on this one, because with good collaboration and networking, it can really take you a long way in your journey in academia. Yeah. So this is one example. This again about opportunity. In this case, I proactively go out and seek for opportunity. I've tried to find what are the fellowship that I can get. So I got this one at JSPS, go for 2 months in Hokkaido, 3.5 months in Kagoshima as a visiting scientist. And this is where I focus during the 2 months, 3 months to really work on my publication, research, and networking. And this has taken me, has given me a lot of kind of visibility in the research world. Okay, so this is in Hokkaido. This is a lab in Hokkaido. These are my collaborators, my people in the lab. And this was 3.5 months in Kagoshima, also under JSPS. And this is a kind of thing when we kind of expand our wing, we go out, step out from our classroom and start to do networking. You will find, believe me or not, those who have done this successfully, how much benefits it has brought to you. Yeah. So still in Kagoshima. Remember, I survived 3.5 months. Food in Japan for me, I don't like. Even though I stayed for a few months in Japan, I never liked even a single Japanese food. So I have to cook every day. So it was hard. Every day during lunchtime, I have to cycle back to the room, to the house, cook, pray, and so on. Then cycle back another like 20 minutes to the university to work in the lab and so on. So, but I survived. Then, of course, later on, I use the knowledge and so on to flourish. So lesson number 14 here, think different. Why think different is important? Because sometimes, when you do things, research, publication, teaching, there are times when you hit the wall. You don't know what to do, what else to do now. You have hit the wall. You don't know where else to go now. I send my publication, will get rejected for the 7th time. I don't know which journal I want to send anymore. No more journal that I can send to. If you have to pay, then you have to pay. But I never paid for any of my publication. Yeah. So if you have tried hard, you have already tried very hard. Maybe trying harder is not the way. Try different. That's Apple tagline. Think different. Try different. Do it differently. Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again and expect different results. So lesson number 15 is about communication. You can have brilliant ideas, but if you can't get them across, your ideas won't get you anywhere. Like it or not, we have to be a very good communicator as well. You need to be able to articulate your ideas verbally and in writing very well. Communication works for those who work at it. So we have to work at our communication. How to write, how to speak, how to do the public speaking, how to present our work, how to convince, how to write the grant properly so that the chances to get the grant is 90%. How to pitch our work so that we can get the grant, we can get the sponsorship and so on. So communication is vital. George Bernard Shaw said, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Then lesson number 16, enhance professionalism. I've given many presentations on this about professionalism, but basically, you want to invest. My advice is invest in your professional growth, personal and professional growth. And I always strongly believe that personal growth first, because personal growth would drive the professional growth. Personal growth, personal development will drive professional development, will drive personal growth. So, because if you don't grow, if you're not growing, you are dying, basically. If you stay put after you got PhD, you don't want to learn anything new, you stop learning, then you will find yourself to be irrelevant very soon, especially in this world now, where the VUCA world now, everything is dynamically changed almost constantly on a daily basis. So professionalism in teaching, as far as teaching is concerned, is about the journey of growth. the first 5 years as a novice, then 6 to 10 years become professional, and hopefully ultimately people will recognize you as a scholar, sarjana keilmuan. Lesson number 17, strive to be a lifelong and life-wide learner, because life as a teacher begins the day you realize you are always a learner. I wrote about it in my blog, Lifelong Learning from Cradle to Grave. I wrote this in 2011. So if you have time, go to my blog, read about it, about lifelong learning from cradle to grave. Okay, so I just skip this part about lifelong learning, but this again to reiterate the point, you want to grow yourself in such a way that you have a broad-based knowledge, broad-based competencies, and then you have at least one expertise. So this is what we call T model. But even better, you want to have this M profile, M model, where you have a broad base, so jack of all trades, but master of more than one specialization. This would be very nice, you know. Someone who have this kind of profile, when you talk to the person, you can see the intellectual kind of mind kind of coming out. The words spoken, the articulation, the ideas is always big ideas, always looking at a big picture. It's not looking at not even the question. When the person asks the questions, it's not just average kind of question. It's very solid intellectual kind of conversation and questions. Someone will have this kind who have this kind of profile will show that kind of portray that kind of image. Well, let's see the rest of the lesson here. Lesson number 18 about research. I think a lot of young lecturers, young academics always worry about how they are going to progress in their research. This is another big topic that probably I just touch on very briefly here because I'm running out of time. I want to have some time for kind of dialogue. But it's all about establishing your research niche. I would say you must establish your primary research area and work on it at least in the first 15 years of your career. After 15 years, you have developed your research and you are known with your primary research area through your publication and so on, then probably you might want to consider a secondary research niche, research area. In my case, my primary research area is on the umbrella is biopolymer. So the primary research area is on carbohydrate, starch basically. And if you look at my list of publication, maybe 90% or 80% is on that, the keyword. But after like 15 years, I developed a second area on protein-based, collagen, gelatin, and so on. In fact, 2 or 3 of my highest citation is actually come from my secondary research area. It's quite ironic in a way, but that's the thing, you can actually develop that. So in order to be a successful researcher, we must have a strategic scientific mindset. These attributes like highly curious, highly inquisitive, think deeply and critical, open mind. And when you start doing research, you will find that you will encounter a lot of failures. When you start to do publication, to publish, you will inevitably face a lot of challenges and failures. So lesson number 19 or advice here, try again, again and again. Don't give up. So Thomas Edison, I don't know, some people say he didn't say this, but it's okay. Mainly attributed to him. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And that can be lesson to others so that they don't go to the wrong path, go to another path, be a trailblazer. So these are the story of grit, endurance, and perseverance that all of us, all of you, especially the young academics, you have to have that attributes. Don't be afraid of failures, because if you fail, like what John Maxwell said in one of his books, if you fail, or when you fail, fail forward. Let the failures be the lessons to learn, so that you know what worked, what doesn't work, what didn't work. So don't be afraid if your paper get rejected, even after 7th time. Maybe it's time now to try different. So keep trying, don't give up. Because a lot of things in our journey in academics, in life, need a lot of sacrifice and strong discipline. Lesson number 20. Lionel Messi, millionaire. But he said, you have to fight to reach your dream. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it. Because great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice and never the results of selfishness. Most people want to avoid pain, and discipline is usually painful. I forgot to put one slide, which I like very much. The quotes from film Mat Kilau. He said, bukanlah perjuangan namanya tanpa pengorbanan. So every perjuangan, ya, every endeavor, there's bound to be sacrifices that we have to make. And we have to stick to a strong discipline and habitual routine so that we can do things again and again. So we consistent, persevere. And lesson 21, write, 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 read, write, write, write. I keep on posting on the Facebook about this. Read, write, write, write. There's no substitute for it. So either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. I'm not talking about writing publication for the journal, but writing beyond that, for the newspaper, writing blogs, share your thoughts, even in the social media. We are now given all this platform, and yet not many people really want to share their peace of mind, their knowledge, whatever that they have learned, whatever they have read from the book, whatever they have watched from the video. They just keep it to themselves. Some people are quite worried or concerned about sharing for whatever reason. But to me, either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. Because if you don't write, if you don't have time to read, you don't have time or the tools to write. Simple as that, according to Stephen King, famous writer. So finally, lesson 22. It won't be complete if I don't mention about my students, because basically we exist at the university. We exist as an educator because there are students for us to educate. So over the years, these are people that we need to put our attention to, our effort, because remember, we are given the trust, responsibility to unleash the potential of our students. Because student capacity is something like an iceberg. A great deal of potential is hidden from our view. And finally, the students cheat in exam if they value their learning more than they value their grade. So it's our job now to tell them, to educate them that education is more than just grades. It's basically to nurture them, to develop them as a holistic, balanced human being, as articulated in our shift number 1 of our education blueprint for higher education. So ladies and gentlemen, this is your life. This is my life, your life, my life as an educator, my joy. If you can say this, take it to your heart, my joy teaching. I simply love teaching. And I can feel it. I get a goosebump when I say this. I derive immense joy. Now the adjective there, immense joy and satisfaction helping students to learn, watching them to grow in confidence and maturity. Good education is more than just imparting knowledge. It is also about inculcating skill and instilling values. Holistic balance. So perhaps try time to reinvent yourself. But Yoda said, try not. There is no try. Do or do not. So instead of saying, I'll try, no, be more affirmative. I'll do it. So I end with this a short poem here. One tree can give life to a forest. One smile can start a friendship. One hand can uplift a soul. One idea can shape the future. One candle can wipe out darkness. One love can conquer gloom. One ray of hope can lift your spirits. One touch can show that you care. One life can make a difference. You can make a difference. Be that one today. So my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, my standard slide I always show in my presentation by Steve Jobs. Stay hungry, hungry for knowledge. Stay foolish, be creative, be innovative, and of course, stay strong. So with that, thank you very much. There's a link and also the QR code on the screen now. Before I unshare the screen, maybe you want to capture the screen or maybe you want to directly scan the QR code. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Center for um, Academic Advancement and Flexible Learning, CAFEL, University Technology National, UNITEN, we would like to thank you for joining this session this morning to kick off our webinar professional development series for this year, 2034. And please, we will upload the recording. The recording will be on the same link on the Facebook, but we will also upload the recording on YouTube channel. If you go YouTube, you just search for CAFEL Unit 10. You will come up. You'll find our channel. Please share the link to far and wide to everyone because we want to get the message across to everyone. So with that, thank you so much. And over, I don't know whether Ponlani is still there, but Ponlani, are you still there?
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Yeah, we have Mr. Handsome Rahmat here.
All right, so I'm taking over Puan Zailani's task, okay, as the moderator. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Rahmat. I'm from Kafel, and I feel like there's a lot of lessons and advices that blew my mind definitely, and some I really attached to it, such as for example when you say to know your big why on doing what you love, okay, and then definitely taking care of your support system because it's not easy to do everything, okay, so everything must be in sync. All right, so definitely thank you so much for your sharing, okay, you have been very generous, all right, in sharing your academic experience for, I can say, just 3 decades or 28 years. Okay, so we would like to have a dialogue session, right, Prof?
Yes, yeah. Anything on the in the chat, Rahmat, that I can pick up because I didn't check the chat. Um,
So far, we don't have any question just yet. I think we can allow the participant to unmute. Okay, you can unmute yourself. Okay, and then you can ask questions to Prof. Karim here, everyone.
Rahmat, can you also check on our Facebook, Kafel Facebook, whether there are questions from there that maybe we can pick up? Yeah. Or other,
Um,
yeah, anyone here
on
can.
the Facebook,
Yeah.
we had a bit of I can say in network issues. Okay, but as of now, there are no questions in the Facebook page.
Okay. So anyone here like to share your thought on what I've shared just now? Maybe questions or maybe whatever that you like to ask. Feel free to ask. So we have about 30 plus here. Yeah. Silakan, Dr. Wahida.
Yes, Assalamualaikum. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Sometime I saw you in the car park and I was observing. I'm so sorry to do this, but I want to ask that how you keep yourself within the right weight after so many years. Are you genetically slim kind of person, or yeah, you must have take care of your food. You're a food scientist anyway, so I just want to ask that.
Okay. I was kind of trying to figure out what you mean by in the right way. So, oh, you mean physically, yeah? Well, that I don't have a really a clear answer for that, but I think food wise, probably I don't eat that much, and I eat on time basically. So I don't eat excessively perhaps, except when when my wife cook. But when she cook, then always I eat more than usual. Yeah, but I don't exercise nowadays. But I've started doing light exercise only like recently. Um, Overall, I think as I mentioned much earlier, I think it's really critical for us to live a life where, not to say stress-free, it's impossible to have a stress-free. Minimize the stress as much as possible. I discovered there's one type of stress which is good. It's called eustress. Eustress, yeah. If you Google, how do you spell it? EU stress. I think EU stress. Because I didn't know, because in one of the session with the new lecturers with USM session with them, I mentioned about, they asked the question about stress also. Then I said, if I get any stress, is basically from my work, but it's more like of a pleasant stress. I remember I used that term, pleasant stress, because I enjoy what I'm doing. I do get stressed sometimes because I put too much on myself. I put a deadline on myself rather than people put deadline. I put the benchmark, high quality, high benchmark for myself. I don't compromise that benchmark. So that sometimes give me a stress, but that is a kind of pleasant stress. And it turned out that this pleasant stress in psychology, they call it eustress. So if anyone from here have heard about this term, or anyone from education background, educational psychology background, maybe they can verify that. So perhaps I would say that trying to have minimal stress, that probably do good to your health, perhaps. That much I can say, Dr. Wahida.
Thank you so much. I put the EU stress definition on the chat. It says stress that leads to a positive response.
Yeah, okay. So read more about it, because I think you want to have that kind of stress instead of another type of stress where it can it can take its toll on your health. This has been shown, evidence by through research and so on. Stress really kill you. So be careful here, my dear colleagues here. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your answer.
Most welcome. I hope there are other things, further question from others here, because I love to have this kind of dialogue, especially with the young lecturers here. I don't know how young are you, not how old, how young are you here, but yeah, go ahead if there are more. So yeah, it is not about being the best, it is about being the better. Or this, yeah.
I think you make me feel old, Prof. Karim. Because if I can share, I have the experience, learning on how to use the typewriter, and then how difficult it is to, correct what you have wrongly typed using the white tape. and all. And then I have also experienced, using the personal computer, the PC, and then move to laptop. And then I thought it's already enough. I thought, okay, I'm on top of my game. But you really like show me, okay, I've been like not on top of my game because of the AI tools that you show. And I definitely reacted with a wow, okay, when you showed me about your AI tools. Okay, so I think it is important to always like learning, and then for me, you are definitely an icon for me for lifelong learning, a true icon lah for me on life learning. Okay, but probably you can share what excites you to keep on venturing on new things, Prof?
Well, again, it's intrinsically driven, it come from within. So I guess in terms of, for example, reading, I consider myself as avid reader, and basically start from my during the childhood. But at that time, reading material was scarce. I remember reading all the kitab written in Jawi at home, my father's kitab, because there are no other reading material, and my father probably couldn't afford to buy books and so on. Books also not that plenty as like now. So I was hungry for knowledge, and it was kind of developed since then. So that's where the lifelong learning comes in, because I just love to learn, to read, to write as well. And I find that, and that's why I said towards the end just now, read, read, and write. I'm not talking about writing publication for the journal. That's given. But beyond that, because believe me, I really want to say this, and I get a goosebump now, because I really believe when you write, the more you write, in a layman language especially, the more you actually sharpen your mind, and sharpen the skill of articulation. Even I don't know whether you notice or not, in general, Malaysians are not really good in articulating their ideas, whether verbally or in writing. So this skill of articulation, we can really develop and make it better and better by practicing, by doing writing the blog, write in the social media in a proper way. Now we have ChatGPT to help you make your writing better. So when lifelong learning, when you read a lot of things beyond your discipline, you will find that you become kind of holistic thinker. You will have always, when you engage in a conversation, you look at the bigger picture, you take the drone view, so to speak, then you always be very strategic, and you always come up with big ideas. And this is what I think I'm probably good at, because I put myself in such a way that I can have a conversation with a lot of people, come up with ideas and so on, because I feel confident, because I have the knowledge. I have the so-called the broad base as well as the specialized knowledge. So this is what I would really encourage strongly everyone to do: read and write and learn more, non-stop. And there are actually tips. We can have one session on that, on reading and writing. And I conducted this session with a few groups from college, Mara, professional Mara, and from Polytechnic and so on. And they find it very, very useful. Yeah. Okay, Ahmad, yeah? Anything else from our friends here? Are you Ustaz Rosli? This is our kind of strong supporter, always with us. Dr.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Ya, Puan Ayu, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Hari ini tak ada soalan, insyaAllah.
Ya, anything?
Hari ini saya tak ada soalan. Cuma nak ucapkan terima kasih lah atas perkongsian. I really need this at this very moment. And Alhamdulillah, it's just that sometimes the challenge is not the support system from home, but the environment that somehow rather kita, macam mana nak cakap, kita susah nak tukar environment. Kita boleh tukar what we can control, which is ourselves, our mind, our spirit. But sometimes the challenge of apa yang ada di sekeliling kita tu yang somehow rather for me, there are times that will touch me and bring me down. So having this session this morning, Alhamdulillah, untuk tahun baru, minggu kedua tahun baru 2024, it's very inspiring. Thank you very much, Prof. And I hope I can set my head right and my spirit right, insyaAllah, for another lovely year, not only for myself, but also for Unit 10. And now the priority, I could see very clear, it's none other than family. So thank you very much, Prof.
Yeah. Thank you, Puan Ayu, for sharing your thoughts. Yes. What I can say here, the challenges at workplace, it's real, and regardless of where we go, it will be there. It will be there. The challenges will be different, perhaps, but the nature of the challenges will be different. Because remember, we are dealing with people. So people are complex. People are complicated. But if we live on certain principle and we follow our so-called, remember just now I mentioned about philosophy and guiding principles, I'm sure we can figure out ways how to deal with the different challenges, how to deal with different people. There are books that I read some time ago. Lupa. Idiots apa yang they have a blue color, red color, yellow color. What's the title of the book? Anyone here?
Surrounded by idiots. Prof Karim, right? Surrounded by idiots.
Surrounded by. I love that book. I read the book page cover to cover, you know. So again, this is where reading can really be helpful, you know. So you learn from the book. There are people with different characters, different belief, different life philosophy, different life principles, different personality, different, you know, what is normal for them is not normal for us. That is common, normal. So somehow, I think itulah ke dalam bahasa Melayunya kita kata kita kena pandai bawa diri lah kan. Maknanya somehow we have to find ways coexist. You know, this is about coexistence. Just like Malaysia as a whole, we coexist with other ethnics, right? And we can live in harmony if we learn how to coexist. So to me, I cannot elaborate further and deliberate further because so much to it when we talk about coexisting together in harmony. So that book, Surrounded by Idiots, is one of the good books that I would recommend to read because we learn how to deal with people. And there are several books, similar one, like How to Win People's Heart, How to Make People Like You, How to Make People Like You, things like that. So read those books because you can take some of the tips from there, and then now you can carry yourself in such a way among other people, you know, so that you can kind of have that personality, have that kind of personality that can get along with others, can work along with others as well. So I hope that kind of gives something as the response to Puan Ayu punya ni lah. Remember, it's always easier said than done, but somehow we can find ways. We can find ways. Anyone else here would like to share your thoughts? This is a very light conversation and dialogue here. I really love to have this kind of engagement conversation with people, because remember, it's all about getting that inspiration and motivation. But motivation will go only that far, because it's like yo-yo, you know, our life is like that. So now probably you get inspired and motivated, but then how do you keep that, you know, always on the high? So this is where we need good circle of people, talking to people, you know, when you feel down, go and talk to other people. They may not understand your problems fully, and maybe they probably try to help, but at the end of the day, it's down to ourselves to decide and to move on and to do whatever necessary. All right. Rahmat, now I don't think ada soalan lagi kot, semua dah quiet lah.
Okay, let's see in the chat.
There's someone raise their hand. Ada nampak tadi? Someone raise. Tak ada? Tak ada ya? Okay. Dalam chat tadi cuma ada komen.
Okay,
Thank you.
saya pun tak perasan siapa yang raise hand tu. It's just that, yeah, Dr. Abbott. Dr. Abbott.
Ya, silakan, Doktor.
Dr. Abbott.
Abbott. Silakan, Dr. Abbott. Ya.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Abbott Nasib. Ya, Dr. Abbott, how are you?
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Karim.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum semualah. Okay, I ada satu angle lah. I rasa Prof dah cover all these challenges and obstacles that academician might face during their journey and how to overcome some of these challenges and so on. But sebagai an international academician di overseas, okay, so kita orang bukan Malaysian lah, kita orang luar negara lah, negara asing. Being in the different academician environment, okay, dari segi colleagues, dari segi students and budaya yang there exists and so on, what might be the best tips ataupun advices yang dari Prof Karim, kalau you dah pernah go through certain experience before, that can help to ensure smooth journey dan successful journey with the good productivities and outcome. Itu je soalan saya.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Dr. Abbott. Surprisingly, yeah, kan bahasa very cool. Rahmat ada?
Tak dengar, Prof.
Tak dengar? No, just now.
Okay, sekarang jelas. Okay.
Kena echo.
Tak. Okay, sekarang okay.
I'm listening myself now. Well, anyway, yeah, you're an international staff, right? From where, Dr. Abbott?
Saya from Yemen.
Yemen.
Oh,
I respect Yemen for what you are doing.
oh, thank you so much.
No, I wrote that in the book. Well, anyway, coming from outside and joined the university here in Malaysia. So probably, different environment, you're right, different culture. So it can be, probably there's a learning curve for you to, take time to learn the culture, learn the language. Really, your bahasa is really good, I would say. But again, to survive and to flourish in the different environment, just like when we take one plant, take it out from the pot and put it elsewhere in different soil, different environment, and so on. Sometimes it will kind of get wilted, layu, temporarily, and then after that, given the right water and nutrients, fertilizer, everything will start to grow again, blooming, flowering, and so on. So I think at Unit 10, I've been at Unit 10 for 1 year plus. I joined in December 2022, and now January, so almost, slightly over a year. And I keep telling my colleagues here at CAFEL, I like, I love being at U10. Not only like, but I love being Unit 10. I feel comfortable. I feel the people are nice, at least nice to me, and people accept me. And I can see a lot of things I can do for Unit 10. The leadership is at least good to me. So I'm happy here, and what I can say here, just like when I was at USM and Unit 10, where I have some experience now, is like a fertile ground with a fertile soil, with the right amount of oxygen, everything that allow me to grow as an academic. So I think although you come from a different environment, different culture, and so on, but I don't know, how do you feel about it? To me, Unit 10 has all the right ingredients, all the right environment. It has a fertile ground, so you can actually grow. So you just have to learn. I get echo. You still have to getting to your right circle to work with, collaborate with other people. So try to get along, things like that, rather than trying to impose your own values, your own way of doing things, but trying to get together with people here, try to find a common ground. And I think it shouldn't be a big problem for you to kind of become very productive, successful, and flourish and contribute to Unit 10 growth as well. So remember, the personal growth individually would lead to the institutional growth as well. Dengan syarat, provided everyone will pull their weight. Yeah, everyone will give their share. All right, so that much I can say, Dr. Abbott. I hope that you are happy with that answer.
Yeah. Terima kasih, Prof. Actually, in Unit 10, everything is Alhamdulillah. We are more matching, and what do you call, we are not feeling like we are a foreigner here lah. I just want to get dapat tambahan lah, kalau ada apa-apa advice lagi for the upcoming journey. But thank you so much, Prof. Karim, for the advice. I really appreciate it, and Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen for everything.
Thank you.
Jazakallah khair.
You can drop by at my office anytime.
Inshallah, akan buat. Inshallah. Terima kasih, Prof.
Monday to Wednesday.
Inshallah.
All right. Well, good. Thank you so much for all the input, feedback, sharing thoughts from all of you. Yeah, Rahman.
Okay. If there are no more questions, okay, definitely you can just meet up with Prof. Karim and ask him at his office to ask further questions. Okay, so I would like to remind all of the participants here that we do have attendance and evaluation form in the chat. So you need to scroll up a bit to fill in the attendance and evaluation form. Okay, and then thank you so much for this sharing, Prof. Karim. And then on behalf of the Unit 10 staff, I hope you are always going to be in a good health. And then definitely continue your sharing and your wisdom with us as our principal fellow for Center for Academic Advancement and Flexible Learning, CAFEL Unit 10. All right, so thank you so much, Prof. Karim. Your sharing has been very valuable. All of your answers valid, okay, because I keep on like wondering, what kind of answer I'm going to get, but they are very valuable, such as writing to articulate your thinking, and then definitely to control what you can control, and then just have for example boundaries beyond that, things that are uncontrollable. Okay, so thank you again, Prof. Karim, okay, for this awesome sharing. And then thank you to all the participants who have participate in this sharing again. And then definitely till we meet again in another session. All right. With that, thank you so much, Prof. Karim. And okay, Assalamualaikum, everyone.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamualaikum.